Well, this past Sunday was an exciting Sunday because we began our series in the book of Revelation. I've been looking forward to this series for quite a while. I've been looking forward to it, and by that I mean been reading through Revelation and trying to familiarize myself more so with the book so that I can prepare and to be ready to preach through this amazing and somewhat intimidating book. It was great, and what I will say is every time I start a new series or a new book particularly, I am accosted with just how daunting a task it is and how important the task is that I don't take lightly. And so I'm looking forward to this series. And really this last Sunday, what I did was began just an introduction of the book. More of an introduction of the book, but introduction of the preaching of the book for our church. Because in my experience, in just some of the growing up, being aware of some of the end times or prophetic studies of the book of Revelation, many have had many helpful things and been profitable. But I want to avoid some pitfalls that I've seen that I believe that are very easy to go into, that I maybe won't be able to dodge entirely, but I'm going to strive to do so. But what I did was I began by just looking at the first few verses of the book, and particularly in Revelation chapter 1, verse 3, it says, "Blessed is he who reads, and those who hear the words of the prophecy, and heed the things which are written in it, for the time is near." So what I wanted to do was set the table for the study, to set the table so that as a church, and we all know kind of what some of the goals and parameters are of the study, because like any book, but really Revelation in specifically, the presuppositions you bring into it about conclusions you make about date, timing, some of those things are going to be really key in taking you through the book. But just to set that table, three things here. First of all, I said to the church that I want us to hear and to seek to understand what Jesus reveals to the church so that we can be able to heed what he said in this book. So often I think there's a focus on the fantastic and the mystery, and to focusing on the really the amazing stuff that is hard to comprehend, which there is a lot, I think, in there, magnificent things that John has trouble describing. But I want us to try to understand all that we can so that we can heed what Jesus says to us, what the Lord says to us in this book, because that is the blessing here at the beginning of this letter. Secondly, one of the big things I'd like us to do is to see Jesus. I want us to see and lift up Christ. And I guess I would say this: if in the study of the book, myself or anyone, if somehow we elevate the actions or the fantastic miracles or the timing above, so that eclipses Jesus in importance, I think that will be doing a disservice to the book. In other words, it's important to see the timing, the organization, and the judgments, and the kindnesses that God shows, and all these different things. But if we see that so that it diminishes the beauty or the focus on Christ, we're doing, I think, a disservice to this book here. So I want us to really to lift up Jesus, because I think there are some things in here that are clearest because of the book of Revelation. Some things about Jesus and about who he is, our theology of the Son, are clearest because of the book of Revelation, and a few things I believe that we only find here, that we can see maybe hints of elsewhere, but really are just found in Revelation. So really it's a book of high Christology, I guess. I want us to make sure that we don't miss the high Christology of the book of Revelation. So I want to exalt Jesus Christ. And then thirdly, the third thing I'd like to do is to make sure that this study results in worship. If we look at so much that goes on in the book, there is a lot of worship, a lot of praise. Chapter 4, the majority of the chapter is just the elders and the beings, the creatures worshiping God. And so, whereas there's so much about this book that has various applications to it and should cause us to apply, have us live and respond in certain ways, one of those things ought to be a praise of God. And so I really want that to be an important reality there. So there's that. And then just the last thing I kind of did, sorry for the screen jumping there, looking down at verse 19 here, John says, and this is the outline of the book, which I think is generally how it's going to go. This makes sense in the context, makes sense of the actual layout of the book, but also it's the grammar of verse 19 here. Jesus says to John, "Therefore, write the things which you have seen, the things which are, and the things which will take place after." These are the three things. So basically, when he talks about this, the things which you have seen would be chapter 1. Chapter 1 is the vision of Christ while John is on the Isle of Patmos. That's this seeing of the glorified Christ. And the things that are, there's a second part there, that would be the situation of the churches in chapters 2 and 3 that are going on in that world at that time. And then the third part of the things which take place after is verses 4 to the end, the final things. And so ultimately, that's the outline of the book. Chapter 1 is the things that have already happened in John's experience. Chapter 2 and 3 is the things that are going on currently in John's time. And chapters 4 to the end are the things that will happen in the future. So it's going to be a fun and exciting study. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. If you were with us on Sunday, it was great to have you there. If not, we'd love to have you with us for this awesome and exciting ride. So may God bless you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.